All right, you're probably getting ready to travel if you haven't already in what will be the busiest Christmas travel season we have had. I think they're saying in about 12 years. But all of this comes at a time where the people who want to get us there safely want to make sure we get there safely. TSA Administrator David Pekoski joining us, sir. Very good to have you.
Good to be here. Thank you.
You know, what I notice in this, David, is that it varies from airport to airport, just what they check, what they don't check, how aggressive they are, how they're not aggressive. Any basic rules for travelers about how they handle all this?
Well, for travelers, the basic rule would be, particularly in a busy season like this, the holiday season, just past the Thanksgiving holiday period as well, is just give yourself a little bit more time. So get to the airport a little bit earlier than you might otherwise. And then just pay attention to the transportation security officer, the first person you see in the line, and follow their directions. I think once you do that, it goes very smoothly.
Of course, there are going to be a lot of crowds. Of course, the Atlanta situation with the airport there when the lights went out, that's not the TSA's fault, I grant you. But it did lead to some pandemonium. People eventually calmed down and all that, but it gets them nervous. What happens then?
Well, you know, that was a long-term power outage. It got restored just about midnight on Sunday night. And so for us, the busiest period for us really was the following day when all those passengers that couldn't travel on Sunday needed to travel on Monday. But we worked very closely with the airlines and the airports there, and everything was cleared out Monday. So it ended up working out very well due to the great cooperation of our partners and really the patience of our travelers.
You've got a big high-pressure job. So for you, Administrator, what's your biggest fear? Obviously, the bad guys are getting increasingly clever at trying to sneak stuff in. What's the stuff that you're looking for increasingly or worried about?
Well, we're always worried about, what is the newest thing that the bad guys would be using. And so we try to stay a couple of steps ahead of where they are. We look at our technology, we look at our procedures, try to refresh those on a continuous basis so that we do stay ahead of them. But one of the things that really helps us out a lot is passengers, and passengers who are in a line or in the airport or in a mass transit system. If they see something that just doesn't seem right to them, what we would encourage them to do is to go up to a Transportation Security Administration officer if they see one, or to a police officer who may be nearby, and just mention it to them, because something that doesn't seem right is something that all of us want to investigate a little bit further.
There's talk that we're going to have a big infrastructure push in the new year. The president has indicated that. A number in both parties have expressed support to at least hear each side out. Obviously, the TSA and security at airports could and likely will be part of that. What do we need?
Well, we need, when TSA first was formed, we basically worked into the existing infrastructure at airports. And of course, some airports have modernized over those 16 years. But many have not had the opportunity to do that just yet. And so, we would like to design security areas in airports with security in mind, not just as an area that we had available to us that we could put security there. So the biggest thing for us is to work closely with the airports and the airlines to, make sure that they're aware of our requirements into the future and that we build security in from the very beginning.
How do you deal, we always talk about keeping people safe, and you talk about, be extra early, get there extra early. But for a lot of flyers, it's their fellow flyers that they have altercations with, not TSA guards and all of that. I mean, what do you do to try to urge everyone to keep their calm?
Well, I think that's key, is just to keep calm and be patient and know that it's going to be, with a lot of people, it's going to take you just a little bit longer. A couple of things we're doing, though, is we're trying to put in place in some airports, we've got about 106 of a new kind of a security lane in place where, rather than waiting for the person immediately in front of you to take all of their stuff out of their carry-on bag and put it in a bin, now 5 passengers can do that all simultaneously. So that eases up, I think, some of the frustration on the part of travelers who may have someone who is not as familiar with traveling as they are in front of them. It might be, in their view, holding them up a little bit. But I think the biggest thing is this is a joyous time of year. It's a happy time of year, and just would encourage people to be patient. And like I said, if they see something that bothers them, that they don't think is quite right, just say something to somebody that can do something about it.
Administrator, those are very wise words. David Pekoski, the TSA Administrator, joining us out of Washington. He is going to have high-pressure city going on just in his offices here. Thank you, Administrator, very, very much.